In our streaming-obsessed world, do you miss DVD commentary tracks? Well, fear not, because I, Von Fred, the most scorned critic in all of YouTube, am here to give you commentary tracks for the movies streaming, the ones we love and sometimes love to hate. Tonight, I think we have a pretty worthy sequel for you from 1990. It's Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Yes, Bruce Willis returns as John McClane. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick mention to my buddies over at CalderaLab.com, makers of the finest skincare for real men, such as the Good Serum. It'll have you saying, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Use my promo code FRY15 to save 15% at checkout. All right, we've got our popcorn here with the Himalayan sea salts, air popped. We've got that butter. We have the Reese's Pieces there. I'm opening up a fresh root beer. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, we're not doing root beer this time. It's Mountain Dew. Not sponsored, so hey, if I screw it up, it doesn't matter. And if you're ready to watch Die Hard 2, Die Harder with me over on Hulu, go ahead and queue up to 0000 and hit play now. Dun, 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 dun. Still looks kind of squashed, doesn't it? The classic 20th Century Fox logo. I swear there are movies where this isn't squashed. Now, I'm going to have to watch Alien as presented on Hulu and see how that looks. Man, Hulu really should be the home of 20th Century Fox and all the 20th Century television. Everything that is Disney owned that should not be on Disney Plus. Looking at you, Logan. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Wow, that wasted no time. What kind of action is John McClane into right away? Getting his car towed. It's Arnold's buddy from Total Recall. You know, I'd almost called a cold opening, but we had a title screen, and now we're not getting any, like, starring or any of that right now. Oh, he moved to L.A. L.A., huh? I only moved to L.A. because my wife took a job there. Come on. Surely Hawley got some kind of substantial bonus raise. You know, new opportunities in LA out of the whole situation. I mean, everybody ahead of her got killed, right? Part of why we're watching this is it's a Christmas movie. People say, oh, I don't know if Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not. You want to dispute Die Hard 2 being a Christmas movie? It's even installed itself in the traveling aspect, the mayhem that is Christmas travel season. That's how up the butt it is with Christmas. Also, this is the only one where John McClane gets this nickname, the Ghost of Christmas Past, which I think is awesome. Of the Die Hards, this is probably the most underappreciated. I think that it does quite the serviceable job of replicating what works with the original Die Hard. Adds a little bit of that new twist with the insider connection. And of course, we know that this guy's unhinged, the big bad, because he's doing the nude yoga. And am I wrong, or isn't this guy also Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? And this, isn't he a dictator? Esperanza, isn't he, I don't think he has a lot of roles, but he's played by a guy who's kind of known for some spaghetti westerns. The original Django, I believe it was. The, Nero, Franco Nero. I'm going to have to look, man, they chock full of extras here. We got a ton of collateral damage possibilities here at this airport. Again, we got Stephen E. D'Souza here writing. But now, Renny Harlin taking over directing, who underappreciated. Oh, there's Robert Patrick. Small role for Robert Patrick here. Possibly his debut role, catapulting him the very next year. Just, hey, that guy's got a look to him. I want him to be the T-1000. And no one complains about it. Oof, not a real airplane flying. You can see the matte outline there is what it is. In some ways, I'd prefer that over what most CGI planes in the sky look like these days. Mind you, Die Hard 2 actually made a good deal more than the original Die Hard, about 100 million more. John McClane's hair is a bit more on the Doink the Clown scale of things over here. It's kind of shooting out, kind of doing some wild stuff, but it's okay. Yeah, he's not into that technology, huh? Well, that'll come into handy later. 2 more movies from now. Oh, look at that. We got an ad for Lethal Weapon 2 on the back of her magazine. It's 1990, guys. I still don't think you can take a taser onto an airplane. But then again, 1988, we have a taser, a handgun on an airplane, so I don't know. Yeah, you were on TV. Yeah, William Sadler, he was Death in Bill and Ted 2 and then 3. You know, wow. Have to do that thing where things that we can remember. We have the legacy sequel of sorts, right? Yeah, Franco Nero, he didn't. I think he was a ninja in a movie where he wasn't much of a ninja, and it's that movie where that people have like a hilarious death. I think a guy gets a throwing star in the chest, and he kind of comes to accept it and goes, what are you gonna do? And falls down. But it's great because it's not played for laughs. Yeah, I'm just at the church. You know, I'm just gonna open the door. Oh no. They're going to use your church for a base of operation. That is some evil scheming. I mentioned that the first Die Hard I catch late on TV. Like the terrorists have already taken over the tower. They've seized the tower, and John McClane's already shoeless. And man, 1990s, 80s, and 90s, man, you just don't take hostages. You take care of stuff. We don't need them getting away. Telling them, just shoot them. We're only going to use the place for a day, whatever. This lady doing the reporting here. There was a movie I started watching with her in it from the 80s. It looked kind of cool, but it kind of turned out kind of boring. And she was the lead. I'm not saying it's her fault, but it just kind of got out there. Black guy's haircut definitely places this. You don't see the it's not even a high top fade, but it's sort of there. You just don't see that anymore. Like the guy who really retired that look was Will Smith. This guy over here almost looks like the Miz. I've heard the mermaid singing. That's what the name of the movie was. I might have to watch the rest of that. Sheila McCarthy. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of an indie thing from the 80s. Usually I'm willing to check something out if it was shot on film. You know, it kind of gives you, at least there's a threshold for an indie film back then. Oh, something's going down. What are these guys doing? Good thing I was sitting here right when this happened and not having a conversation with anybody, you know, just ready to be observant, said McClane. Oh, not you. Again, those black jackets with the fur for the cops, you don't see those. I mean, I don't. Hey, I recognize that guy. Pinko. Pinkos are commies. That doesn't really add up. So you kind of should have been set up to understand that there was going to be some insider involvement with this one. Like, it sows enough seeds. You got this ex-military group sympathizes with Esperanza and in his situation. Possibility for them to have other friends in the military when the military shows up. There is a running theme with, and I think it's time to address it, John McClane having a black buddy. Now, the theme is established really in the second movie. Now, that's the point in which the pattern can be recognized. But he gets Reginald VelJohnson up on the phone. He gets all Paul on the phone for a little bit. But he also has this other guy with the like graying hair who kind of serves as his new buddy for this movie. Hey, you don't work here, man. You're doing the Axel Foley thing here, actually, waving the badge around, pretending that it gives you clearance. And there we go. We're firing our first shots in Die Hard 2. Surely sooner than we did in the original Die Hard. Now, you may be thinking there isn't that much in the way of innovative fighting in this until so much the end, but they make a pretty good use out of the airport setting. And I think that we also establish here what makes a Die Hard movie. There is a claustrophobia about it. It needs to be in one night, in one location. It's Die Hard on a whatever. We have to resolve this now. It's the immediacy of danger, and it's ever present, and ticking time bomb, essentially. We really get away from that in the third movie. But the third movie, many people think is their favorite, and it is the most successful at the box office. What do you spray him with? Almost looked like a Barbasol can, but that was not shaving cream coming out, so I don't know. Can you be flying with an aerosol can in your luggage? Even if it's not carry? I don't do enough flying, I'm sorry. Man, this popcorn is so good. Air pop over microwave, if you can, you guys. Of course, we got to get some kind of fight going on the airport's conveyor belt system here. You know, given the different shapes of bags going on this conveyor belt, I really doubt there would actually be that roller there to, you know, steamroll them down. But okay. Got to kill this guy somehow with this, right? I think that stylistically, this movie carries over that first Die Hard's look pretty good. Camera kind of pans around a bit. I think we do get a little bit of rack focus shots here and there. But look at the black levels. Like, there's such a stark contrast. It fits well with the original film. Or if the movie didn't have such an obvious airplane gimmick thing going, though, but when we saw an airplane in the first movie, not that we needed sustained shots of them in the air, just, you know, just the landing. We used a real plane. Cooking up a convenient excuse here for William Atherton to reappear in this film. Oh yeah, we don't like that piece you did about bimbos of the sky. Haha. Uh-oh. Holy McClane, I have a restraining order against her. I have to be 500 yards away. She punched me on national TV. 50 feet, sorry. 50 feet sounds pretty, like, I don't know. Isn't it usually like 100 yards, 500 yards within a school, something like that? Not that I know about that one. Actually, as a guy who's had 3 restraining orders against him, I never did look at the details. See, that's your mild joke you would get back in the day. I knocked his teeth out on national TV. Would you like some champagne? That gets a little bit of a laugh out of an audience back then. Without trying too hard, and you just cut away to back to the action. Now, I've had this issue with Hulu from time to time, and it didn't happen when I was streaming the original Die Hard, but bitrate kind of slows down to, like, not quite HD. I'm not sure if it's connection issue or almost like they have that's the transfer they have. Sometimes some shots just end up blocky. I would assume it's a connection issue with them. But it's like a thing that only seems to happen with Hulu. Well, I guess that was your warning, dude. Not really the rogue colonel you want to work for. I'd rather take the guy from The Rock who didn't actually want anyone to get hurt. It was more of a bluff, his whole scheme. Does Dennis Franz look like a Lorenzo to you? I'm not so sure about that. Though Dennis Franz doesn't make for a bad police liaison for McClane. He's almost your typical cop. Like he's a cop architect in of himself. And of course, this being more of a white Christmas, you have considerable snow here versus LA, right? And everybody's got to be the mirror from the Jaws. Like, we can't shut this down. Are you kidding me? This is the busiest time of the year, right? In reality, I think they actually would shut down the airport. There's such a zero tolerance thing to potential terrorism stuff. Like, things would get shut down. In 1990, maybe this is the outcome they'd roll with. Yeah, some hero Nakatomi, whatever. That's my life right there. Everybody dismisses your amazing accomplishments. Or rather, abilities, so that you don't ever get accomplishments. How you liking McClane's cardigan? Can't hold back mouthing off, but that's why we like them. Somebody else's problem, right? Gonna take some fingerprints off the dead guy. I know a guy I can call. Maybe work this out. Oh man, we're gonna see some janky blue screen stuff in this movie, guys. My apologies. Wasn't really sure how it was gonna come across in HD. Hulu does have some offerings in 4K, The legacy stuff, not so much. I think they offer Prey in 4K. And they're originals. Not really dressed like a prisoner. He still has like I'm the commandant, outfit, whatever. Looking the part of a dictator. Man, not a lot of lights on this plane, huh? It's so black. But I feel like I can see enough. And it looks very 1990 for just somehow. What are these guys up to? Their scheme... here we go. I knew you'd have Twinkies. For your wife, right? Now I'm an LA cop in DC. Wasn't the whole thing with Sergeant Powell here that he's not afraid to use his gun? Now he's not going to be a desk cop anymore. Faxing, yeah, it's so 90s, guys. Back to the Future thought this was going to be the biggest thing. Forget email and social networks. We're going to fax. I think there's a high likelihood if you're listening to this, you may never have actually sent a fax. Only time I've had to send fax, doing a little bit of NDA signing for like Tosh.0. I think the Nate Burke show also, and contract stuff, yeah. Ooh, she thinks he's cute. Fred Thompson. The sort of Southern voice type of authority for films of the day. He was also in John McClane film, The Hunt for Red October, kind of a similar role. White guy in charge sort of stuff. Try to parlay some of this authority as shown on screen into a failed bid to become president. So jealous. You got to punch him in the face. Cutie at the desk, man. Ah, guy just died, but he died 2 years ago, huh? Oh, she is so into him. Just the facts, ma'am. Sure. Did she? Okay, so she's into him. That kind of sets up. Hey, we want to make just reinforce the ego thing here on Bruce Willis. Like, yeah, he's a dashing leading man. Okay, there you go. Girls have got to be swooning over him. But did she recognize him? Because she'd probably be aware that he's married if she recognized him from the events Nakatomi Plaza. This reporter gal just can't get a break here. Trying to think when the last time I watched this was, but most of it being on TV, I'm not used to the language. Basic cable edit, right? Yeah, we got to have somebody tell McClane he's in an unauthorized area. Yeah, this minor little thief who died Black Ops stuff 2 years ago. Explain. A big operation's going down. I don't know what, but it's big. Oh, John Leguizamo. First role. Might not actually talk on camera. And I think that in the case of that, it's not actually his voice on the radio or anything. You get around not paying extra money. Try to limit the amount of voices in a movie for SAG reasons. It's weird that John Leguizamo, he's in this, but I think a lot of people get that conflated with executive decision and think John Leguizamo is an executive decision when I think it's Danny Nucci. Now, obviously, we're kind of. I think that Esperanza, he's supposed to be like Noriega, essentially here. World's biggest drug dealer, more like South American drug lord dictator type. But we're kind of working in a sort of like inoffensive way, like taking a few liberties with things. But oh yeah, it's not totally based on that circumstance, but it's kind of like what if. Now, the big plan here for terror, obviously, is popping into place here, and that is knock the lights out on the runway. I'm not so sure that these planes couldn't land without the lights. They have systems in place where these things really do land themselves, and they've been able to since sometime in the 90s, at least. But they also mess with some other systems, essentially hack them and, override who's talking to them and get them to crash. So, I mean, that plays a part too, and that raises the stakes. Oh, my bad. John Leguizamo is an executive decision. Dang. I thought that was Danny. What was I thinking? Danny Nucci was. All right, well, that's news to me. But okay, anyways. I don't think that the interior of the control tower would look anything like this these days. A lot of analog tech here. Got some of that familiar Die Hard music there. Doodaloo. Kind of makes it seem like somebody's thinking, right? I like it. Oh, he's right. Oh, it's the bad guys. We can take over this airport if we go through the church. This is a lot of effort to bust out a guy. Would it possibly have been easier to pull off having just boots on the ground once he landed and then capture him? Always difficult to work out the jumbo jet as an escape vehicle. 747 also recently retired. I think the 747 is the biggest commercial jet of the day. Still close enough. A lot of ways they make jets smaller now. Want shorter runways. Yeah, why else would I be here, ma'am? I'm waiting for my wife. You guys are lucky that McClane showed up early to pick up his wife. I think that unlike what's his name, Lieutenant Deputy Dennis, whatever, of the first movie, I think Franz here does get some redemption. For a place that's off limits, people sure seem to be getting inside. All right, and I think here's where she calls him the ghost of Christmas past. Oh yeah, she's putting together all this stuff right here. What? Colonel Stewart's here? Or did she call him that earlier before they, like, when they first met? Hey, aren't you John McClane? Da, 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 da. Okay, never mind. Might have missed it as I was going through. You guys want to climb? I've never done it, but I'm assuming it's tougher to climb out of an elevator than McClane kind of made it appear. It's not a damn convertible, right? It's not designed to be opened up like that, surely. Bit of lampshade hanging here is McClane voices the similarities to previous events. I would venture to say that the original film is better looking. Not to say that this one has problem, but this one looks very 1990. In the original film, not a lot of stuff in the 80s looked like the first Die Hard. Now we're about to meet the janitor. Spinning vinyls. Don't sneak up on this dude, man. You see it in the cardigan. This is Holly's plane, so we know they're going to be okay. Or we're hoping. We got the Japanese plane. And I think British Airlines, we'll see, has, well, we'll run into them here, but Windsor, okay. Yep, Chief O'Brien finally gets to take the helm. And we see what happens. Delayed, delayed, delayed. No. Oh, the horror. Here's that SWAT team we're talking about. They don't have the beanies of the SWAT team at Nakatomi. So these guys are headed to the skywalk where they have a alternative radio terminal, something to communicate. Because hey, go down to Radio Shack, get another radio. Oh, yeah. No, wait, we got access to one. We're building. Oh, down goes the card again, and into the ventilation duct we go. So you can kind of see this area's got this under construction thing going. Robert Patrick. A little bit of that feigning hired help to paint, whatever. Not really doing much. Only lines in the movie right there. Sitting duck. Boom. You know, as the captivating look for him, I think a lot of it is the ears, man. The ears stick out. He's got it. Really draws a lot of focus. Ooh, shot in the arm. Hey, don't worry. Your SWAT buddies here get it worse than you, man. I think Renny Harlin gets this film because off the back of one of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I think it was part 4, which at some point I only saw passing bits of them on TV, and they get a little like the Friday the 13th movies. Some of them kind of run together. I think the 4th one might have been the highest earner in the franchise, and they thought, hey, this guy's making money. Put him on a Die Hard. He'll make money with, and he made money with it. Put him on Cliffhanger. Made money with the Cliffhanger. Well, Robert Patrick looking scary. You've been ventilated. I gotta wonder if I need to actually turn the volume down a little bit. You know, don't want YouTube picking up the volume from the TV too much here. Oh yeah, I like the tactical roll with the gun. Really liking it. In slow motion. I don't think people realize that kind of stems from this movie. I'm not so sure. But I do like, if you're doing like a Die Hard homage sort of thing, I could see the necessity to do the roll in the ground shooting, regardless of accuracy. Mind you, these guys are not foreign national dudes. These are American military guys, like special force, like something, working like a black ops type operation. What they did was disavowed. They're said to be dead, but I guess I don't really understand the fake to death scenario for some of them, but I guess it works out for them to continue to operate. And the country can disavow all knowledge of their schemes, whatever, their operations. Get to that antenna ray, man. On second thought, maybe it's a good thing you didn't get to that antenna. No antenna. Can't communicate with our planes. And they can't see the runway. What are we going to do? At some point in the film, so he shed the cardigan, right? And he's got this undershirt of almost flannel look, but he does get like a fireman's jacket and looks pretty badass with it. But if someone's doing the Die Hard John McClane costume, they never go that route. My gift is I notice things and I blurt it out loud. There's a lot of planes circling. Something's up. I think people really like Holly McClane's attitude. Now, being that McClane rescued, his minority buddy here, this is the guy who's going to have his back. Sorry, they've been annexed. Oh, they're always pros, man. They're always pros. Oh, man, I'm messing with amateurs. Yeah, but we lost the T-1000. Oh, man, he was our best asset. You can't let McClane talk to him. Yeah, I mean, just saying McClane, he knew his John McClane, he knew the voice. I'm not so sure. Was he on like a talk show tour for everybody to recognize the voice? I don't know. All right, so he's standing up against communists. That's why we have to back him, the drug lord dictator. But what are we doing calling the reporter lady a pinko? I mean, I've heard of the liberal media, but let's not make some exaggerations in 1990. All right, demonstration of what we're up to, guys. And the beauty of it is the pilots will do whatever we tell them to do. Another ancient touchscreen on a CRT, guys. All right, Cole Meany. Let's see how well you can fly. And letting you know that we're Americans, I'm going to have kind of a southern type of voice about me. I'm gonna have to go out there and try to wave these guys off here. Of course, even if there isn't a contingency plan in place regarding the runway lights being down, and I think it would be really tough to knock those out, by the way, but hell yeah, we may be late, but no, you're not. What I'm saying is they could hey, run out there and put some lights up there, right? The end of the movie, the climax kind of makes a way to resolve the situation. But then it makes you wonder, why didn't they just do that earlier? All right, good luck, McClane. Dulles Tower, you sure we're okay to land? Yeah, okay, you go ahead and land, and another plane will land at the same time. That'll work. Can they see the fire? Is fire bright enough? Helps that there's also a snowstorm. Reduce the visibility. If we're going to rescue this dictator, we got to make sure there's a snowstorm. Oh no. You guys were coming in bad. You still thought you had like another 200 feet to drop. You came in too hot. We're gonna die as they're dying. Good miniature explosion. Now I wonder, okay, you guys are supposed to pull up. What? I don't know was there a possibility that if they were coming into lane correctly, they would have collided into John McClane? Plane flies overhead that low to you. It's kind of frightening. And I think the jet wash can like throw you back too. Like it can be pretty violent stuff. All right, you guys made your point. You're going to get your general. Dictator General, Esperanza, whatever. I need to look this up. Is he going by General? General Ramon Esperanza. There you go. So I said firefighter jacket, but I guess it's some kind of crew out there, right? What's it say? Some engineer thing. What just happened? It was like a freeze frame and a skip, almost like a dual layer DVD could hiccup. You ever watch the older DVDs that were dual layer? And it would like pause to switch to the other layer. It just pulled that. I was concerned that the stream was crashing, but I want to read the back of McClane's jacket. We get an opportunity. It said engineer on it, right? It didn't say firefighting engineer, did it? All right, you guys done arguing with McClane? You gonna just jump on his side now? And this is where having the men on the inside helps in the plan. You got 90 minutes to sort this out or your wife's plane's going to run out of fuel. May as well be a ticking time bomb, right? Ooh, sassy Holly McClane. Yeah. Doesn't get to do a lot of action, but she's got the sassy lines. And they don't have a way to communicate with these planes. I don't suppose that any of these captains can be like, you know, we're going to go look for a alternate place to land as we are running low on fuel, so requesting use of a runway elsewhere. What's the matter, William Atherton? You don't have your cute protege with you this time? You said you got this guy? Because the tower's been shut down. Shut out of the loop. All right, now we're going to meet those special army guys. And try to sort out when is the first time you realize something's off with these guys. Or is it after it becomes quite apparent? All right, so it's the Beastmaster's buddy. Dad from, was it Good Times? I believe he's still alive. Amos, right? Amos or Amos? Not anymore, he's not. Oh, yeah, actually, we're good buds. Yeah, I taught him everything he knows, and I'm in on the whole gig. John Amos or Amos? I think it's Amos. 83 years old. I think you also know from Coming to America. Oh, things are getting worse. There we go, shooting down the idea of the lights. Yeah, we could put out some portable lights and they'll shoot them down. Where are we gonna get him anyways? Batman, huh? I think it'd be better to give it a shot than to dismiss the idea. What do I know? They don't let me do air traffic control. Oh, that guy you killed over in the luggage conveyor belt. He was just gonna get some thief. Yeah, that's all. How many of these military guys are in on the whole fix here? It seems like some of them aren't. Now you guys called in the experts now. I'm not good enough. I'm the ace up the sleeve, man. You Chief Engineer Leslie. Trust me, guys, and McClane's racial buddy this movie. He's explained the situation. Oh, he said the T word, terrorists. They are coming up with some crafty ideas. I got to give them that. Oh, I got a big story. Unfortunately, I'm at the center of it. Oh, goodness. Blueprints, man. Do they still... Do blueprints get punched out of a machine now? Does a computer do this? Is it a CAD drawing? What is it anymore? And this is the runway for Esperanza. Right? I mean, it's not this movie's not exciting. Like, there's a plane crash, there's stakes are apparent, the threat's real. Maybe Colonel Stewart is not quite as enigmatic and possibly charming or nuanced as Hans Gruber. Oh, the janitor, of course, he's got a pin-up over there. Much like how some janitor staff area had a pin-up in the first Die Hard. Oh, General's hijacking this plane, even though they had a plan to extract him without him needing to break out so much. So I don't think that they coordinated his escape, like quite to the extent of Con Air. Actually, maybe they did. I mean, he did have the radio in a specific spot for him. Falcon, there you go. And later on, the infamous TV edit, Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. So Falcon, Eagle Nest, we're communicating here. And it seems so random to say Mr. Falcon, but over the comms, this guy is referred to as Falcon. Leguizamo, but that is not Leguizamo's voice. That is not John Leguizamo talking. In fact, they even put a map over his face. Like it's like they went out of their way to not have him talk. Man, if you've never been in this airport before, I don't know if you really could get around. It's a confusing array of tunnels. Lights are on for the general. And that first movie, it was a tease, right, to free our fighting comrades of, is it comrades or Conrads? Comrades, right? Yeah, our fighting brothers and sisters need to be freed, and then we'll release some terrorists, right? Or I mean hostages. Now these guys actually do have that motivation. It's not about money. You know, sitting on the beach getting your, what was it, 3%, 5%, whatever. Might want to get that landing gear checked, my dude. Landing gear, flaps. Come on, come in for a landing. Always got to shoot a lock in a movie, right? Oh, now you want to notice the plane coming straight towards you? Are people just not supposed to climb out of this grate that has a ladder right underneath it? Was he's really struggling? Sounds like music from Aliens right there. Right? Right when she has to try to climb out of she's got the queen holding onto her foot, right? She's trying to climb out of that airlock. Freedom, then punched in the face. It's almost like a Will Smith, like "Welcome to Earth," pow. It's interesting. This movie released on the 4th of July in 1990, but like I said, it's a Christmas movie. Christmas in July. If you think you got a big earner, you got to get that summer blockbuster season thing going, right? Two months of planning. Can't anticipate a cop. Okay, so it is kind of like Con Air. Esperanza is the Cyrus. No, not the Cyrus. It's there was a guy that Cyrus was kind of working for, like setting up the exchange, but Anara, boom, remember blew him up. Except you never got the impression that Cyrus wasn't the number one guy in that movie for sure. Even though he was like being funded and put up to the task by the Colombian drug lord guy, right? So something like that, right? All right. We're going to get a bit fantastical with the grenade usage here, guys. How much time does he have to react to these grenades that have just been tossed? Probably not this long. How did those grenades not go off yet? This is a kind of cool shot. Now, I've kind of been saying that the composite work is a bit wonky. And yeah, I know it doesn't look realistic, but I will take this vintage look to the effect over a lot of the modern day equivalents, especially when not done well. In fact, do that again, but with today's compositing capabilities, and I think it'd look great. We no longer need the big matte line around the edges and stuff, and we can kind of put the actors in the environment better. Just don't make it all computer. And obviously, like, you're gonna you need to actually strap the talent in, do some motion control camera work. You know, Really put a good effort in, you can pull that off. Oh, she's got work to do. Still works for Nakatomi, huh? What's he listening to? Is it Pulitzer or Pulitzer? Pulitzer, right? Yeah, I don't plan to get one, so whatever. The ship has sailed. They're going to watch The Simpsons in 1990, July 1990. Your in-flight entertainment is an episode of The Simpsons? Celia, was that his protege in the first movie or not? He's kind of Dennis Franz is kind of right there. We don't know how many men he's got. Hell, here's some of them. This guy Barnes, he didn't really have a redemption thing. Like, man, I was on path to be in Trudeau's spot, but I chickened out. Now I'm gonna have to kill the guy at the end. Like, I don't think he really gets that redemption thing happening. But he does seem to understand what's happening. At least he floats some ideas for solutions. I wonder how old that granny is right there. Is she younger than my mom? Oh, I don't think they really do load these planes up with this much extra fuel, to be honest with you. You know, they like to save money, fly lighter. That was not real snow. Yeah, I know. Your SWAT team got taken out, but you've seen some action. You come with me to this church. Let's sort this out. We assume there's a bunch of bad guys here, but you can come with. If I remember right, Leguizamo gets it with a icicle through the eye. Does that say Dolus Engineering on the back? What was it? Yeah, so okay. He did switch jackets, and now McClane's got this lighter firefighter jacket instead of the dark one he had, and I'm not really sure why the change. It's almost like kind of like how out of nowhere Kyle Reese goes from having a green trench coat in the Terminator to having a black one. Like, I couldn't find my green trench coat when I was leaving the police department while I was being sieged by the T-800. So I grabbed this green one. I mean, I grabbed the black one I could find, but whatever. It's also noticeably shorter. We've got an ID on Stewart's location. Let's go, but make sure you use the correct duct-taped bullets. Now, all of these guys have to be in on the whole situation. Now, we got our white winter gear going. You know something is amiss when you see the duct tape, the color-coordinated duct tape on the magazine. No, I guess it's not John Leguizamo that gets it with the icicle. It's this guy. Yeah, that's going to hurt. I'm pretty sure that gets an edit on basic cable. Is Franz, watch us in action. We just need you here to relay the message that we took care of business. Well, he's freezing. I mean, he clearly looks cold as hell. Get him out. Get the bureaucrat out of McClane's face, buttering up to McClane. So McClane will believe what his operation's about. The McDowell's kind of asshole. That's what it is. Everybody get out your blue magazines. You saw that they had blue also. There's got to be a reason behind this. There's Luigi. Lots of shooting, not a lot of dying. Come on, how come you guys can't hit anybody? Come on, give me a break. Special Forces, huh? Special Army group coming in. Yeah, special education. What? You saw them go out the back? No way. You're not supposed to chase them. Snowmobiles, man. I like the look of that firefighter jacket on McClane. I do. He must not have got the memo about the blue magazines. Dola's Engineering. Okay, so he swapped. He's got the one McClane did have, and now he's got a firefighter jacket. I'm getting all jacket discombobulated. It's rigged with C4. We better get out of here. Oh, yeah, he got in on the action. He's chasing. Which looked like some thin ice over there. I thought I saw some water going through there. Oh, yeah, it is thin as hell. That's dangerous. You can... There is... If you do it right, you can take a snowmobile onto a lake. And I'm saying you can use it like a jet ski. Not that I would know from experience. Oh, nice little power slide. Switch to red. Oh, fireball. Of course, McClane is only mildly annoyed by this. He let go of it before it blew up on him. I had him in my sights, but I just couldn't get him with this gun for some reason. I took off the guy I shot. What's up with that? Oh, things are making sense now. Obviously, if they have blanks, they're in on it with the guys that came in. To help spell it out to the audience, they both have blue tape over the magazines for the blanks. Of course, the masters become the pupils become the master. The guy who trained him being the major, colonel supersedes major. I'm just here to blindly follow orders. Yeah, I've got a recording. Network, here I come. He wants to get off that local satellite, affiliate. All right, why did we have to take this guy out? Because he wasn't an old timer. Why is McClane falling down a ladder? Oh, nice cameo from Michelle Obama. I'm sorry, she's a bit more attractive. Dick Thornburg reporting from the bathroom. The truth is terrifying. Yeah, to his credit, Thornburg's doing his job and he's being somewhat helpful. He's getting the truth out. Unfortunately, it's going to install panic. Here, I'll prove it to you. They're blanks. Does an airport get a police chief? Yep, now we have panic. Actually, the likelihood of the full-scale bloody battle is slim because they're firing blanks at each other. People have abandoned their plans to travel. They're just like, let's just leave the airport. Me, I would have stuck around and been like, okay, so I get to board first. I mean, the plane was delayed, right? But it'll get here. That lady's taser. He's causing chaos by spreading the truth. Maybe I should go stun him. Dennis Franz here is finally in Believe McClane mode. Great driving. You ever run across a Vito? Maybe a reporter lady can get that exclusive now. Life and talent on the line. You couldn't just said life. Probably not the actual reaction one would have to getting tased. You know, just hitting the pause button on him. All right, we got our 747 waiting. Man, I mean, again, it's more like we got to have some efforts here for the women to throw themselves at Bruce Willis. Give me the story, I'll have your baby. That's how you know it's your vehicle, the movie, you know? All right, we've almost made our escape. Except McClane's figuring shit out. I guess McClane really assumed here that Sam Coleman, Action News, is going to have an action chopper to help him get close to the action. I think I don't know about watching DC anymore, but a lot of cities have gotten rid of those choppers. I know when I lived in Oklahoma City in the mid 90s, I think there was a crash. It took out one of the promising young anchors. My wife's plane needs that emergency clearance. Do you trust any airline pilot to get you through the emergency landing? I mean, not named solely. head low. I think that is more so so projectiles don't hit you. I think that's really the reason why you put your head low. Should anything fly off? Hey, I told him to get me over the plane. I'm going to jump on it. An actual helicopter getting close to an actual plane, going down an actual runway. I dig it. Not a lot of not a lot of grippage, not a lot of places to make this landing work, but okay. All right, we got to stop this plane. What's the plan, John? I'm going to stick my firefighter jacket in there. All right, one of you's got to go out there and deal with him. Can't shoot. The wing is full of fuel. It's sort of like, where else could he have gone, right? I don't see him out there. Let me open the door. It kind of works out as a good action set piece, though. Fight on an airplane wing. McClane's a little weak on the comebacks and the lines here. This movie's not nearly as quotable as the original. I've got enough friends. Too bad McClane kind of liked you. I've got enough friends. I mean, I guess it works, but... Fuel dump. That could be useful. Yes, I want to see. Did he take a finger off? He did a little bit of a spit afterwards there. I think he might have gotten a pinky. See how that nude tai chi, yoga, whatever, kung fu posing he was doing. See how that works out for him. Man, I'm telling you, I don't think that your shoes have the grip to be fighting and kicking like that. And kind of spinning inside crescent, roundhouse, none of that sweep. Forget it. So he thinks he just bested McClane here. He kicked him off the plane. Well, he's thinking, I'm a colonel. Of course I can beat NYC, an LAPD finest over here. Get the jacket out of the aileron. Here, you can have your jacket. I'm going to throw it on the ground. Possibly good movie prop at a value. John McClane's firefighter's jacket from Die Hard 2. I'm going to have to look that up. That might be potentially feasible to nab. Yeah, well, I've got a plan. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. The trail is a little too steady for something leaking and released fuel over there. It's a... and then it flies up at them. I mean, they did a really bang-up job with the effects, getting this to look right. Though I'm not sure it would really play out like this. Is it that satisfying to knock off all the, almost all the enemies at once, though? It's kind of preferred when each kill's unique, maybe. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so we have now lit the runway and the planes can land, miraculously enough. Just happens these guys are coming in for a landing. I suppose you have clearance for that emergency landing. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh man, this is some tight grouping on that landing. That is, you guys better not mess up because there's another one right behind you. And everybody wants to go for the slip and slide. Hey man, if a plane's flying that low past me, it might knock my ass down too. You know what though? Despite all these planes getting here, I think the delay is going to be considerable before they can get back up in the skies. I mean, I'm no expert. Way to go, Barnes. You sorted out a whole lot of stuff. But you never had that... I was supposed to be the guy calling the shots, but Trudeau got the job instead. They overlooked me because I'm black. Like, you never heard that part from him. You never really heard that there's a redemption angle for him. Got to get reunited with Holly here. Come on, guys. Tell me. Well, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead and jump down and see him. Slide. Man, Bruce Willis, he's only like 35 here. 34, 35. Here, let's get a shot of them. No, give them their privacy. She likes to punch. And this is the last time we'll see Bonnie in a Die Hard. Her character will be mentioned as on the phone with John, with Bruce Willis. That is, everybody hates this guy. I don't think he did anything particularly bad, though. He did elevate his own importance in my life and my talent on the line. And what do you know? All the chaos happened in like one night, largely at one location, close enough. And right as the sun's coming up, things are resolved. John should be like, there should be one more guy alive. Like, are you sure I'm not missing something? Because, like, get your gun ready. Usually there's one of these guys that survives, and we have to take him out special at the end. You can see some weird color correction biz happening here. I don't know what's going on with this shot. But there's a lot of composite work there and faulty coloring, but... And thus concludes Die Hard 2, Die Harder. What do you guys think of this one? Is it worthy of the Die Hard name? I think it's a pretty good sequel. Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, adios.